Is there more excitement in Toronto? What's more prevalent? Excitement in Toronto or panic in Montreal based on what we've seen through a grand total of 7 games apiece?
I saw someone in the neighborhood who said to me this morning, I got to go. I've got to start the parade route. I think they're excited in Toronto, but I also feel like there is a little bit of angst in Montreal, and there's 2 sides to the angst in Montreal. One side is, hey, when the hell do we get rid of Marc Bergevin? And the other side is, listen, we have gotten off to awesome starts in the past couple of years, and they have ended with nothing. So what's the difference? It's not won or lost in October, and we've learned that by the last couple of seasons. So maybe there is a little bit of take a step back, take a deep breath, relax. Carey Price isn't going to play this bad for the rest of the year. The 11 goals that they've scored in, 7 games?
It's not good.
That's not good.
Not good.
It's also the same problem that we've seen for the last few years, but it's true. Stanley Cup is not won or lost in October.
No. But considering the 3-point world that we now live in statistically in the NHL, where it is as hard today to reel in teams in front of you as maybe any other point in National Hockey League, never mind the parity. But that 3-point game thing is a killer if you don't get off to a great start. Have teams recovered? Teams have recovered. But it is very, very difficult, never mind the pressure coming down on the Habs from a market that goes $4 on a preseason golf tournament.
Right.
It is not a normal market. We have established that. And it is something that has to get, these players need to get it together. All right? We can get into some of the other factors in a second. Max Pacioretty needs to score goals. Jonathan Drouin needs to score more goals.
Well, but what did he have, 4 points going into last night in his last 2 games?
Correct.
Yeah.
But we need more from Tim. They need more from him. What do you want me to say?
Well, I want you to say that they need more help. That's what I want you to say.
It's not our fault that Thomas Plekanec was given $6 million a year.
Yeah.
That is not our problem. Somebody in that organization made that decision. Somebody in that organization traded PK Subban. Somebody in the organization said, you know what, Radulov, maybe we can sign him. Nope, couldn't re-sign him. All of this is leading towards one specific guy, Tim.
Right.
And I hate on October 19th to be talking about a GM. But Julien, what's Julien going to do? Julien got fired from his job previously. Came in like a golden god.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to do a damn thing.
He was the savior.
They barely scored in that first-round series against the Rangers. Who's the guy making the calls? Who's the guy at the center of this the previous few years? Who's the guy running the damn team?
Yeah, same guy since May 2nd, 2012.
And I don't know what a GM change, Tim, does to you mid-season. It's one of the dumber things you can suggest when you really get down to it. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it fixes what ails you.
It doesn't.
But Marc Bergevin has got to eat all of this. And this is not a team that we've seen that's going to get better as the year goes on. That's not how this has worked for the Montreal Canadiens. It hasn't. To flush October is a statistical death sentence for them. They cannot recover from this. They will not be in the playoffs. That media market will lose its mind. Bergevin's are going to make it to Christmas.
Did you just go 7 games in?
Yes.
They're not making the playoffs.
They are not making the playoffs if October's flushed. And they're halfway to flushing October. I know flushing. I know flushing.
How do we determine flushed October?
How many wins do they have in 7 games?
And 1.
Sorry, wrong sound effect. Well, it kind of worked as well.
It did work as well.
People are you telling me that's a conservative take if you look at what's going on right now in Montreal media? That's conservative.
What is the answer to a GM seemingly in need of help scoring? Obviously, we don't think that Carey Price is going to continue playing this way.
No, I think you're right.
And I think that he's better than that and will prove to be better than that and probably steal him some wins as he has in each of the past 2 years, every year he's played for them when he's been healthy. I think that will happen. But for Marc Bergevin, we've seen this before, right? GM starts to hear whispers. What happens immediately after GM starts to hear whispers? The masses are starting to come to his door demanding answers. A move made to try and quell the uprising. And he's got cap space, but does he have any other capital besides cap space after the move for Drouin? Like, you decided that you weren't going to pay Radulov the money. And I don't blame you.
I didn't disagree with it.
I don't blame you.
But what's the next option?
Exactly. And here they are sitting with this cap space. I think there's going to be a huge amount of pressure on Marc Bergevin to wheel some sort of deal that will get them scoring help. Like the last good move that got them scoring help, dare I say, was Thomas Vanek to end the season. Don't talk about the playoffs after
He
that.
sucked, yeah.
But to end the season, it might have been Thomas Vanek. So the Habs have been searching for this for years, and I'm scared if you're Jeff Molson, if you're Montreal Canadiens fans watching this transpire, thinking, oh dear God, are we going to get the knee-jerk move from the GM who feels the pressure? He hasn't done it in the past. He's felt no pressure in the past. But we've seen this movie play out before, right? Where the guy starts to hear the pressure, and he decides now's the time to pull the trigger. What are you going to get?
But who's left to blame? Like Jeff Molson, the worst sign for Mark Bergevin. You can blame all these guys. You're not trading
guys not scoring goals.
Those guys aren't leaving, though. Like the worst sign I saw this week was Jeff Molson speaking. He spoke this week. That is the worst possible sign if you live in Canadiansville.
Right.
Because Jeff Molson is a guy who pretty much lays in the cut. He doesn't speak a lot. If I were Molson, I wouldn't either. I just enjoy the money. But he came out this week because the pressure is getting enormous, and he had to say something. Mark Bergevin's days are numbered. You better believe it. They've been numbered since the offseason when things didn't go the way they want. Drouin was a deal a lot of people liked. Past that, nothing happened with this team. They got Alex Hemsky. Congratulations.
You got to get more. When you lose Radulov, you replace him with Drouin. A lot of people thought that was 1-for-1. Listen, oftentimes on this show, the tweeters who tweet into our show
Sub-tweeters
become a part of the show. One said tweeter is a fellow by the name of Danny Ruiz, who has been with us for a long time now.
DR?
And Dan Ruiz wrote in earlier today with this suggestion. Actually, it's not a suggestion in any way.
Yelling it in words.
I demand, violently, shaking my fist a la Simpsons, shake harder, boy, for the panic button. If you are a Habs fan, agree or disagree, because I've already got people on Twitter suggesting that we're making this up 7 games in, complete overreaction. And yet there is a Habs fan tweeting into the show demanding violently that we hit said panic button. I don't want to hear from Leaf fans. I don't want to hear from Oiler fans. You got your own problems. I don't want to hear from Jets fans. Just Habs fans. Do we need to hit the panic button?
First off, 7 games into the season, by my math, we're 25% into the season.
What?
So if we want to panic on this, I think we're well within our rights.
Right.
It's math. Deal with it. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, it's Montreal. So everything's over-exaggerated. Panic buttons, UP, you name it. Everything's a little over the top with the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
So as crazy as this is, and I was a guy who once hit the panic button on the Jays in April.
Yep.
Once upon a time, I forget what year it was. Could have been this year. I am completely cool with hitting the panic button on the bleu, blanc, et bleu.
Rouge.
Whatever.
Yep.
They've won 1 game. I'll call them whatever the hell I want.
Right.
I'm cool with you hitting the panic button right now on the Montreal Canadiens. I'm so cool with it, I'm going to hit a button to emphasize my button positivity.
Hey, Google, what is 7 divided by 82?
The answer is approximately 0.085.
82 divided by 7.
80. Sorry, I screwed that up. Sorry, Google. My apologies, Google. Hey, Google, what's 82 divided by 7?
The answer is approximately 11.714.
11.7. I was about to say it first.
So 11% of the season done.
Nearly got there.
And you want to push the panic button.
11% of the season done is 11% that ain't coming back, McCallum. It ain't coming back. The Leafs look like they're slowing down anytime soon.
Right.
There's teams in that division that could. The Sens will figure it out. Well, they've already figured it out, but they had the one bad game. They're done. In the next 3 weeks, if they don't turn this around, you can flush the season of the Montreal Canadiens.
They're not
flush.
They're never done unless Carey Price is hurt. That's all I'll say. You cannot.
See, I don't know if I buy that anymore.
There is
Tim.
no.
I don't buy that anymore.
He's not.
If you're not
playing
scoring,
well.
you're not scoring. You're
He's
not scoring.
He's not playing well.
You could put you and me in net, and you're a pretty good goalie.
He'll steal games. That's what I'll say.
You have to steal like 40 games. Can you steal 40 games?
To make matters worse for Habs fans, even though they can do their proper division.
I know.
I feel really bad about the division.
I would have done the exact same thing. I would have done the exact same.
I feel really stupid about the division.
Feel stupid about it. Dagan didn't know it either.
To make them feel worse, if they could at all through 7 games, look who Vegas has as the favorite to win the Stanley Cup.
Don't do it. Oh my holy God, you did it.
That.
Oh my holy God. Don't do
The
it.
current
Cows.
favorite from Bet365.com. Now, a lot of this, Vegas, Bet365, any of these odds makers, is to draw money in. And obviously, there's a bunch of people with Leaf boners in Toronto right now who want to bet on the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Cup. But that is amazing.
Leaf boners, and it's been up for 4 hours. I got a problem.
Yeah.
Should call a doctor for it. It's been
Right.
up for a while.
Yeah.
Science.